Hey, welcome back! It's time for another BookTube Tuesday, and I'm very excited because today I'm going to be talking about 3 more books. One that I've recently finished and really loved, one that I'm in the middle of reading right now, and one that I'm excited to read. So first I'll start with the one that I recently finished. I recently finished The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Volume 11, and this series has been absolutely fantastic. It's by Ryan North, and the recent issues have been illustrated by Derek Charm. It's the trade paperback collection of the comic of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and I have been loving this comic for several years now. It's one of those things that sounds like it would be all fluff, or just a joke, and yet, after just a brief glance, you realize there is absolutely no fluff here. This is one of the richest, brightest, most intelligent comics out there. Yes, it's full of hilarity and lighthearted jokes, but it's also full of rich allusions to so many wonderful things. We have computer science, we have existentialism, we have great poetry. Not to mention that our main character is everything you would want in a hero. Sure, she can beat up the bad guys if she needs to, but most of the time she uses thought and logic and empathy in order to help the bad guys understand who they are and to be better people. There are very few recurring villains in Squirrel Girl because most of them wind up turning out to be good guys in the end. They change their ways and become better people. The Squirrel Girl adaptation of Kraven the Hunter, for instance, is so incredibly charming. And in the most recent trade paperback, she's looking again at one of her previous villains, Ratatoskr, the squirrel from Norse mythology. He's known for spreading gossip and rumors and causing trouble like that. And here again, we get a redemption arc. So the story's rich with excitement and adventure, but then there are also moments that just pause and take your breath away. There's this one absolutely fantastic moment that nearly made me tear up when Squirrel Girl had just been betrayed by someone who she was trying to help, and she felt very down and very alone, and she's walking through the snow trying to save the day all alone and by herself. And exhausted and tired, she pauses and leans against a tree and pulls out her phone and flips looking for a poem to kind of capture the moment so that she can remember and express it to her friend Nancy later on. It then takes a 3-page spread to walk through Robert Frost's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Eve, with absolutely gorgeous art where Squirrel Girl feeds a hungry deer that is wandering through the woods. And after this touching moment of empathy and poetry, then she goes on strengthened, ready to save the day. I keep telling everybody that they need to read this comic because it's so fantastic and so wonderful. And if you don't think it's awesome, you need to at least give it a try. You'll be converted quickly. So my second book is a book that I'm in the middle of right now, and that's Jane Austen's Persuasion. This was her last novel, and I've actually read it before many years ago, and I wasn't super swept away by it. It's hard to beat Pride and Prejudice, with all that book's fun characters and table-turning surprises. Persuasion seemed to really lack plot to me the first time I read it, but everybody keeps going on and on about how much they love it. Many people say it's their favorite Austen, and so I'm giving it another try. I know it's a much more subtle book, and I'm trying to appreciate it in that way. Finally, there's a book that I'm really excited to read, and I'll have to wait until March. It's by Sharon, and it's The Light in Hidden Places. The Light in Hidden Places is a true story about a young girl who hid Jews in her attic during a time when Nazis were living in her house. I'm really excited to read this book because, one, I know Sharon and absolutely love her. Her other books are phenomenal. And number two, I've chatted with Sharon about this book, and to hear her tell the story and how she got to know this woman who did this as a teenager, it sounds like an absolutely moving and fascinating tale of courage and hope, and I'm so excited to read it. So those are my 3 books for this week. If you have any books that you're currently reading that you're excited about, or if you have any recommendations for me, feel free to put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.